Well, the Cavs season has been up and down like one of those roller coasters at Cedar Point up there. Czar knows.
Cedar Point.
Czar knows the reference, yeah. Down, up, down again, including last night's loss, their 8th in the last 11 games. We picked out big questions for the two of you. 4 big picture questions.
Hopefully we have 4 answers for you.
Well, between the two of you, I hope you have 8.
Yeah, something like it.
Are the Cavs' problems correctable regular season problems, or are these real problems?
The Cavs' problems are definitely correctable in the regular season. First of all, we've seen this many, many times before. How many times have we seen a LeBron James team, whether it's Miami or Cleveland, have some struggles in the regular season, only to go on and represent the Eastern Conference in the NBA Finals? So I think that's what we're looking at here. When Isaiah Thomas gets healthy, he picks up his offense, gives Cleveland a true secondary scorer, I think we'll start to see some of these problems going away. Cleveland has never been a great defensive team. They've covered up their defense with very good offense. Now that Kyrie Irving isn't there, sometimes they're not able to outscore teams the way they've been able to in the past. When Isaiah Thomas gets back to playing like Isaiah Thomas we saw last year, recovering from the hip injury, then we'll see this Cavs teams really take off like we expected.
I don't think we should presume that Isaiah Thomas is going to go back to become the Isaiah Thomas he was in Boston. 7 months off is a long time. He joins the team right around the halfway mark in the season. Then you have an 8-day layoff with All-Star break coming up in a couple weeks. Now you're expecting him, and the pressure is on for a number of reasons. He's replacing Kyrie Irving. He's replacing or coming into a lineup with a team that has been up and down, as you mentioned, the roller coaster ride. But he's a free agent at the end of the season. And we heard Tyronn Lue talk about agendas the other night after that terrible loss that they had. I don't know what the agendas are. Okay, there's a lot of people, you know, LeBron could be there, he couldn't be there. You got Isaiah going for a contract, et cetera, et cetera. But we can't think he's going to be back to a 29-point score automatically. The next thing, I think this group is waiting for the All-Star break, and they think they're going to plug in, energize themselves, and come back and finish the season on a run going into the playoffs with momentum.
Which, to be fair, we've seen them do before.
Countless times before.
Yeah. How about the team that torched them for 133 points the other night, the Toronto Raptors? Where would you place the Raptors on the list of Eastern Conference contenders?
Going into the season, I had them top 4. I thought it would be, I don't know, Cleveland, Boston, Boston, Cleveland. But then, you know, Toronto definitely was the number 3 team there. And then was Milwaukee going to come up and be the next, the 4th team? Was Detroit going to be the 4th team? Those were the question marks. Who number? Washington I had in there as number 4 also. But definitely they were the top 3.
Well, this Toronto team, I always thought they would be a top 4 or 5 team as well. They've really stepped up now and solidified. They're going to be a top 3 team. It's going to be more than likely Boston, Toronto, and the Cavs in some form or fashion. We just have to wait and see. But I like this team. They're getting good production off the bench. Some of their young guys are really stepping up, giving them more energy. DeMar DeRozan's taking more 3-pointers. That's going to be big for them in the playoffs. They're not going to be as easy to game plan against. And last but not least, they're sharing the ball. Last year, they were almost last place, I think, or even dead last as far as assists. Now they're in the top 10 when it comes to assists. And guys like Lowry and DeRozan, they're not afraid to get that hockey assist where they just activate the ball, throw it down the middle, and let somebody else get it to the weak side. That's very important for this team. You can't just depend on one-on-one basketball if you think you're going to win the playoffs. And that's why I think this Toronto team is slightly different than the Toronto teams we're used to seeing.
Well, they play in Canada. You can't be afraid of the hockey assist.
Eh?
And remember, they have tweaked their style of play just a little bit.
Yes.
Tweaked a little bit, and the adjustment seems to have worked.
Far less predictable offensively this year, at least so far. All right, let's switch to the Western Conference. The much-discussed Oklahoma City Thunder, the OK3. Do the Thunder need a major change, or will they be okay, if you will, as constructed?
I'm for making the move right now. I don't think this team is going to be good enough to get to the Western Conference Finals. I think they'll struggle down the stretch.